Hello, I'm Carolyn Weaver and welcome to this special episode of Fine Print. I'm here outside of the Gladstone where we have just wrapped up an incredible night. It is the launch of a program called Read for the Cure, a brainchild of some incredibly innovative and interesting book lovers who are all part of a book club whose lives were sadly touched by cancer. They have taken that experience and turned it into something amazing. We've raised money tonight, we've had so much fun, and we've had great conversation with terrific authors. Please stay with us for this special episode of Fine Print. I think sometimes people get discouraged because they say, gosh, all the money that's being raised and still people are getting diagnosed with cancer. And I think that it's important not to get discouraged because we have to stop and think about the survival rates and the treatments and all of the progress that is being made. One of the things I love about what we are donating money to by coming together tonight is the fact that it's cancer research. And I love the fact that it's looking into things such as what are the connections with food? What does the environment do? How can we help make ourselves stronger when it comes to warding off cancer just by eating differently? So I'm so pleased that all of you are supporting this Read for the Cure. And I said to the women, I know you'll look back in 10 years and go, remember when we were all in that little room? Because it'll be much bigger. So that said, the last thing I would just like to say, because this is sort of the dream scenario, I've quoted Margaret Atwood for a few years. Something she said to me when I was asking her about, do people underestimate how many readers there are out there and the impact that they can have? And she said to me, yes. She said, because when you go to a sports arena, you see a whole bunch of people together cheering for their favorite team, and corporations and the like think, gosh, you want to target the sports fans, readers. Who are readers? We never see readers. She said if you brought all the readers together in a room, you would be overwhelmed by the number of people it is, and this is a testament to that. So, and a thank you to Random House for getting on board and being a support in this incredibly important launch.
I have to honestly say, there are days, my husband's name is Craig, as many of you know, when I'm so mad at him, I wonder, what is this thing, marriage, and how long will it last, and maybe I do want that apartment on my own, and all those things, and I thought, how am I going to talk about my wedding dress, and I should be saying something inspirational about marriage, right, and how wedding dresses lead you through life, that kind of thing, so, to get ready for tonight, I Googled a woman I have just admired for a long, long time, June Callwood, who wouldn't it be wonderful if she were here tonight, and you too can Google her when you have those little moments. I know nobody here has moments of doubt in their marriage, right? But if you do, Google June Callwood and George, I'm going to not say his name right because I don't watch TV, George Stroumboulopoulos. Got it. So Google, honestly, if you want inspiration, June speaks to us over and over and over again. And one of the, she's funny, it's very short, and she'll give you some good reasons why marriage can be a wonderful thing. But she also said, to him, 63 years of marriage, boy, we haven't had a fight since last night. I thought, oh, thank you, June. Then she also said the most wonderful thing about how marriages are a series of stages, right? You have the romantic phase, and damn it, it doesn't last that long, right? And then there's the young children phase, and that lasts pretty long. And then there's the career building phase, and oh God, I'm in the teen phase now, right? And she said the most wonderful thing, though, that she was of course in her 80s, and she said, my husband and I are in the last phase. She was very close to her death when this interview happened, and she said we're in the last phase of our marriage, and it's so tender, it's so sweet, and they cuddled all the time, and I thought, well, that sounds pretty nice. I'm going to hold on.
One of the myths of writing that I have heard is that you start at page 1 and you end at page 300. You write in order. I quickly found out that that didn't work for me. I wrote the first paragraph, which I thought was the beginning of the novel, which ended up being about 10 pages into the novel. And then I wrote the ending. I have since found out that a lot of writers do that they do not write in order, that they will write an ending fairly early on in the process. For me, it was to give me a goal. Where was I going with this harebrained story I had in my head? And how was I going to get there, and how were my characters going to get there? So I wrote the ending almost at the beginning. Ironically enough, both that first paragraph, which is now page 10 or so, and the ending were the two parts of the novel that changed the least over the course of writing, editing, and all the rest of it. Another myth, or another sort of adage we've all heard, is that you let the characters tell you what the story is. Well, I'm the one who makes up the characters. I'm the one who tells them what to do. So as I learned when developing the characters, they do in effect sort of tell you what to do, but they don't like whisper in your ear. They don't say, "Oh no, we would never do that." In writing your characters, in writing my characters, I found myself stuck when I had not written enough about them, where I didn't know them myself. I was missing details. Once I had gotten the characters, once I had invented them enough, created them enough where they were full and whole, then they would, metaphorically, whisper in my ear, "Oh no, we would not do that." But they do not talk to you. One of the great adages I've always heard is the best thing about writing fiction is you get to make it up. The worst thing about fiction is you have to make it up.
When I was a teenager, or even pre-teen, maybe 11, 12, I started to collect photographs. And by the time I was about 15 or 16, my bedroom wall was covered in photographs of people's faces. So it was a rather disturbing experience for new friends or relatives to go into my bedroom and be accosted literally in front of my bed and around my bed by this wall of pictures looking out at them. Unless events like the events of the last month take place, generally speaking, we don't really think about prisoners. We don't think about political prisoners or criminal prisoners very much, and we don't really look for them. And in fact, it's extremely hard to take photographs of them as well. In Burma, I was never able to do that. So working on a novel about a man who lives in prison, I had no choice but to try and imagine the world of the prison as well as I could, and to spend a lot of time talking and listening to people who lived there. And in fact, I did, while I was on the Thai-Burma border, interviewing former political prisoners. I took a series of photographs of men and women who had spent time in the prisons in Burma and work camps. And each of them, of course, had their face. And on their faces, of course, was written their stories often, the history of their lives. And there are hundreds of thousands of people who live on the Thai-Burma and the Burma-Indian borders. And I know that this is for Raising Cancer research, but my proclivities cannot stop me from saying that if you want to do something about Burma, please write to your MP and urge him or her to make a public statement of condemnation of the human rights abuses in Burma.